Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're basically tearing up the old rulebook on what it means to be ambitious. We're going to build a brand new playbook for anyone out there trying to create something meaningful, one that's a whole lot smarter, way more sustainable, and, you guessed it, supercharged by AI. We've all heard it a million times. Hustle harder. But what if that's just bad advice? We get sold this dream of constant motion, 24/7 grind, but where does it usually lead? Straight to exhaustion, with your results getting worse and worse. So you've got to ask yourself, is there a better way to do this whole ambition thing? So we're really looking at two totally different paths here. On one side, you've got toxic hustle. That's the frantic busyness, the feeling that you're just spinning your wheels. It kills your creativity and is a one-way ticket to burnout. But on the other side, we've got sustainable ambition. Now, this is about taking that drive, that fire, and channeling it with real strategy, with well-being, and with a sense of radical ownership over your time and energy. And that brings us to the core idea here. We need to stop talking about hustle and start talking about strategic velocity. See, it's not just about being fast. A car spinning its wheels in the mud is fast, but it's going nowhere. This is about moving fast with a purpose, with a direction. It's calculated, it's intentional, and it's all about making the biggest impact without setting yourself on fire in the process. Okay, so let's dig in. The very first and maybe the most important part of this new playbook is making that mental switch, getting our heads out of the hustle mindset and into the velocity mindset. Now, to actually achieve strategic velocity, a simple to-do list just isn't going to cut it. Nope. You need a complete personal operating system. So let's break down what that looks like. First up, the classic Eisenhower matrix. This thing is brilliant because it forces you to sort everything you do into two buckets. Is it urgent? And is it important? The whole point is to stop living your life as a firefighter, constantly dealing with things that are both urgent and important. The real magic, the place where you make actual progress on your big goals, is quadrant 2, the important but not urgent stuff. Next up is this fantastic model, pilot plane engineer. Think about your work like this. You spend a little bit of your time, maybe 10%, as the pilot, setting the destination, planning the route. Then the huge majority of your time, like 85%, you are the plane, just executing that plan, flying the route. And then, and this is key, you spend a small but vital 5% as the engineer, looking at your systems and figuring out how to make them better. The real question is, are you consciously switching between these hats? Okay, this one might be the real secret weapon of the whole system, the to-don't list. See, high performance isn't just about what you do, it's about what you actively choose not to do. Making a list of the distractions, the time wasters, the things that just drain your energy, and then ruthlessly cutting them out, that is an elite level move that protects your focus for what actually moves the needle. And when you stack all these frameworks together, you get your strategic velocity stack. It's your complete system. You're using the Eisenhower matrix to prioritize what's important, and the to-don't list to get rid of the junk. And you can layer in other things, like time blocking to carve out deep focus time, or the Pomodoro technique for quick sprints and recovery. They all work together to create this amazing, powerful system for getting things done. All right, so we've got our personal operating system installed and running smoothly. Now let's add the ultimate upgrade. Let's talk about bringing on an AI co-creator. The biggest mistake I see people making is thinking of AI as just like a faster Google or a glorified calculator. That's not it at all. The real paradigm shift, the thing you have to wrap your head around, is seeing AI as a genuine partner, a co-creator that can sit next to you, metaphorically of course, and brainstorm, design, and build right alongside you. Check out this wild example. Someone was developing a role-playing game about being a Grateful Dead fan on tour. I mean, how cool is that? They used AI as a creative partner. It helped with world building, fleshing out characters in concert venues. It helped design plot hooks. It even brainstormed game mechanics like a karma or vibes system. This isn't just about efficiency. This is deep, imaginative collaboration. And it's not just for artsy stuff. Look at how a tool like Omni can use AI to build a working app. You literally just tell it who you are, pick a template, say a resource allocator, Click a button, and boom, it builds the app. You can publish it right then and there. Something that would have taken a developer weeks of coding can now be prototyped in minutes. That right there is strategic velocity in action. So let's recap. We have the right mindset, we have the frameworks, and now we have an AI co-creator. Let's see what happens when we put it all together to build something that's truly next level. Okay, imagine we're building an app for sports card collectors. We'll call it Juiced Up. The old way of doing things, the old hustle, was the fractal view. That's the expert collector, using their gut, their intuition, spotting patterns based on years of experience. The new way combines that with an AI forecaster, which crunches insane amounts of data to find complex patterns that no human could ever hope to see. But here's where the magic really happens. You fuse them. The app's Hustle Alert doesn't just say, buy this card. It synthesizes the two views. The AI finds a statistical signal, a hype cycle starting for one player, and then it points out that this exact pattern mirrors the one a human expert would recognize from a different player's breakout a couple of years ago. It connects the dots. It's the ultimate combination of human wisdom and machine intelligence. It teaches you the why, not just the what. This new playbook, it gives us some pretty incredible power to create and to build. But we have to be honest with ourselves. With great power comes, well, you know the rest, a profound responsibility. So we have to stop and ask this very real question. All of this AI, all this computation, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It has a real-world energy cost, a real environmental footprint. So as we learn to build faster and smarter, we absolutely have to learn to build cleaner and more conscious. And that brings us to something called the Green AI Manifesto. This isn't just some vague idea. It's a concrete framework for taking these principles and putting them into action to make sure that all this amazing progress doesn't come at the expense of our planet. The first principle is something called holistic efficiency. Basically, it means making our AI models incredibly frugal. You do it with techie stuff like pruning, which is like trimming the dead branches off a tree to make it healthier, and quantization, which simplifies the math without losing accuracy. But it also means using specialized hardware, like Google's TPUs, that are built for maximum performance per watt of energy used. It's about being efficient from the first line of code all the way down to the power plug in the data center. The next principle is carbon-aware computing. And this is just a brilliant idea. The energy coming from the power grid isn't always the same. Sometimes it's from fossil fuels, and sometimes it's from clean renewables. So the smart thing to do is to time your biggest, heaviest computing jobs to run only when and where there's plenty of clean energy available. It's about scheduling your work to match when the sun is shining or the wind is blowing. And really, this is the ultimate mission. The manifesto wraps up with this powerful commitment. It's not just about making AI less bad for the environment. It's about flipping the script entirely and turning AI into one of our best tools for actually solving our biggest environmental problems, from making power grids more efficient to discovering new sustainable materials. So, there you have it. We've redefined hustle as strategic velocity. We've built a new operating system for ourselves and teamed up with a powerful AI co-creator. And we've grounded the entire thing in a deep sense of responsibility. The playbook is officially in your hands now, so the only question left is, what are you going to build? And maybe, even more importantly, how are you going to build it?